Just taking a look here. Just give me a second to kind of scout the trade activity. Bonds, Dow, Nat Gas, S&P. So 2 stock indices, 1 energy, 1 treasury. What else? And dollar CAD, currency. All right. I got to do this quickly. I should have done this earlier. Natural gas, I'm going to throw up on the 5 guys. Take a look at 5 different views. I got 3 minutes here. Far left, you got a daily. Guys, this is what natural gases look like over the last year, right? Where is it going? Where could it possibly reach? Some of these treetops. You got a major support over here. Take a look at it. That could be a test over here, which was a treetop over here. That's a possibility. That number right there is we'll call it 40.70. That's a daily. Here's an hourly. Already broke out about an hour and a half ago. Where's it going on an hourly? I told you 40.70, but take a look here. That's realistic. Realistic top at about 40, call it 40.18. So 40.18 and 40.70. Well, here's 40.18 on a small view, 5-minute view. 40.18 is going to be right about there, and 40.70 is right up here. And where's my target? My target's actually hanging out right here. So, you know, I have an option. I can take the money and run right now, let it run up and take a 25% target, let it take the critical resistance target, or place no limit and let this thing run. Think about that. Now watch what I'm going to do here. And by the way, that's crude oil that took another Einstein trade. We'll talk about that later. I'll leave that for Steve. 2 trades in Einstein, loser, winner. Options. I could place this higher. I could kill this limit order. I got all these different options, right? There we go. Just got filled, guys. Just came out. Just got filled. Canceling the open orders. And look where the market's at now, guys. Look at this. All the way up, just like the circus where you take the big hammer and ring the bell, straight up and straight back down. Crazy, isn't it? Now, I told you guys you could take that limit order off, stay naked, and let it run based on what I showed you guys on the daily. Let's go back over to that. Here it is. Oh, and look at the daily. Look at the daily. I put the marker in for you guys to go look at it. Look where it's trading. That was an invitation to let it go higher. Look at the hourly. Blowing it out. Holy cow. You saw it happen in copper yesterday. You're seeing it happen in natural gas today. Huge run up on natural gas. Huge. That right there was a 2-lot in natural gas that just took out $630 on that trade right there. You guys can see the markers. Call it 40 even. Make it easy. 61 points, guys. 61 points from the mark of my last entry. Did it pay to scale into that trade? You better believe it. Did it pay to leave that target at a higher price point? Guys, you want to know what I was trying to do? I was trying to find, what did I tell you, 40.70. Remember that number I just told you, 40.70? There it is. That's where I was trying to go. I couldn't go there fast enough. I had a target there, 400, 600, $700. You guys like apples? How about them apples? Fast market, guys. Fast market can create fast problems. But with the RQ trading technology, kind of helps you see where to do things. Just a little bit, doesn't it? Let's get naked. There's naked gas. Love doing this, by the way. This is probably, I have the most fun doing what I'm doing for you guys right now. Starting from scratch. I don't know about you guys, but I love to cook. I do all the cooking in my family. My wife, she, well, let's just say that she burns water. I love to do the cooking. And what you guys are looking at here is a plain cook it from scratch. Make it, bake it from scratch. Just a 5-minute natural gas chart. Nothing on it. How would you have ever known? You're going to be one of those traders that says, well, the news comes out, I'm just going to put a buy stop on here somewhere and just take a chance, and I'll put a sell stop on here somewhere, take a chance. And by the way, you guys know that Mel, who I just had on, he just said he's going to try to sell it off the top. Guess what, guys? Where the heck is Mel getting in? Mel, when do you sell it? If Mel just said, well, I'm going to start selling it now, he's getting beat up. Maybe we'll have to turn his mic back on in a minute and see how he's doing. Or is he going to wait for 2 more minutes? 2 more minutes. And then sell after this candle is complete. Here's the thing, guys. That's not our strategy. We don't do that. We don't take that chance. We don't come in with the attitude of, well, it can't go any higher. You want to bet? This thing could go extremely higher and rake you over the coals. We call this critical resistance. This does not mean that the buck stops here. Do not think, hey, this is where I sell. And Mel, I'm not picking on you. I actually like your strategy. I've got a strategy for that, Mel. But I don't showcase it here in the lab. It's an advanced strategy. Okay? Those of you that know my turbo scalp, that's what I'm talking about. We're not doing that here. We're just trying to get you guys some consistent profits that are easy to see and makes, did you guys hear what Karen said? Makes logical sense. Logic is what Karen said. Karen, I appreciate you saying that. I love that. It does. And here's why it makes logical sense. Going back to this naked chart. How am I going to build a box? How do I know? Okay, here's my box. Where exactly do I get in? How do I know when to sell it over here, or what time of the day to sell it, or buy it here, or sell it here, or buy it here, or sell it here, or buy it here, or oh man, I wish I had bought it there. How do I know that? Well, fundamentals. You know that there's a natural gas report today. Now, I'd be a fool if I told you that you had to have a membership at RiosQuant Trading to trade the news. I'd be a fool to tell you that. You guys can all get that news. It's free. There's websites out there that do that for you. Well, we do it for you. Natural gas storage report. Last thing on the report today. You guys can all hop over to Forex Factory or Econoday, econoday.com. There's all sorts of calendars out there. 10 o'clock, IVPMI. You saw me make money in the dollar CAD. 10:30, natural gas. You saw me make money in natural gas. Am I going to make money every time that there's a report out? No. Actually, reports can actually turn everything upside down, like we had today with the unemployment number. Unemployment number was 298. They were expecting 321. Guys, that last time I checked, that's a good number. People that are making claims of saying I don't have a job is smaller. Why isn't the stock market rallying? It's a T word, people. Taper. The tapering. Now that the numbers are getting good, smart stock traders know the sell-off is coming. Those of you that have been trading stocks, those of you that have been having your brokers buying everything under the sun the last 18, maybe 24 months, if your broker has not made money for you, I'm talking about your Charles Schwab, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Chase, Wells Fargo, whatever brokerage firm you're with, if your broker is not making money for you in the last 2 years, and when I say making money, north of 10%, you need to pick up the phone at 11:01 today and fire them. Anybody that just got their license, Series 7, can make money with stocks. Everything's been in an upward roar, but it's going to soon come to an end, and you're going to go through a dry spell. maybe for 12 to 18 months. That person's going to struggle. Over here, in the TradeLAB, trading these markets, I could care less what the stock market's doing for the next week, 30 days, or 3 months. I don't care. I care about what it's going to do for the next 24 hours, what it's going to do for the next 5 minutes, because the benchmark is the S&P along with our 10-year notes. That helps me identify this guy, when to trade natural gas. Now, we got a fundamental here, but let's talk about a technical. It's called time. 2 to 5 is the London session. I don't trade natural gas in the London session unless there's something really, really ripe. I try to keep that to 8 to 11. That is the core. Look at that. The core. Again, I'd be a fool to tell you that you need a RiosQuant membership to be able to put a couple lines up on NinjaTrader to identify a tea time. That's free information. But you would be a fool if you didn't have this. Levels. Not your just ordinary RNS levels out of the box that are free with your TradeStation, your NinjaTrader. These are free, guys. Your resistance and support levels are free, but not your Gnostic levels. This is the gift that keeps on giving, people. You want to put a stocking stuffer out there for somebody? Take care of yourself. Santa should be coming to town and sticking Gnostic in your stocking.
Here's Santa Schwartz right here.
Ho, ho, ho. There he is. Let me just finish this. Give me a second.
Okay.
So we've got our bull. We got our bear. We got our critical R. We have our critical S. Red, red. Now, probably the best part of this trade that I love to share with you guys today is the fact that I lost before I made. And when I lost, a lot of people make the mistake, which is to quit. Your psyche gets punished. Your confidence gets punished. Oh, there it goes again. Every time I buy it, I lose. It pulls back. Every time I do it. It's like the Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, right? We've all been there. Well, let's put something else on here that might encourage us to stay with the trade. Channels. RiosQuant channels that show us precision. Again, I bought it. I did a 2 lot. We got to put that on here. This is a 2 lot. I'll just put a 2 for right now. And I split my stops. One of those got hit. My other one, based on the channel, make that a 1, I had working down below the opposite channel. I used the opposite Gnostic level and the opposite Gnostic channel. I couldn't afford to make this 1 lot be a 2 lot. That would be too much risk. I had to keep that as a 1 lot so I could afford it. Unfortunately, I got hit on one. But the market came back. And as we drew closer, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 30 minutes from the number, obviously right there, we started to break through again. Added. It's an add-on. We got a strategy for that. And what did I do here? I quickly took a profit. You want to know why I did that? Confidence building. Well, gosh, maybe it's only going to go 75% and the number's going to come out and it's going to go straight down. You guys saw me working a 2 lot down here to reverse. I was prepared to go short today, guys. But then I got filled, got my target. All right. Well, we turned back to a 1 lot. I'm going to ride out the storm. The best thing that can happen to me is it goes to the roof. Worst thing is it comes back and stops me out. And I said to Karen, I'm not going to go break even. I'm willing to put a little bit more risk because this market's probably going to pull back before it goes higher. That's exactly what it did. Now, you see an arrow here, but that was on the close. Fast market, that's where I got filled, guys. I showed you guys on a longer time frame what this could possibly do based on a daily, an hourly, a 30, and I executed on a 5 today. And the results were stellar. Guys, prior to this trade, I shared with you guys all of the markets that we played in today. There's a lot of activity. You guys ready for this? I was, let me just confirm it. Yeah. I was actually down 250. I was down 1%. Just pull this up here. I was down 1% on my trading today. $250 until I got the natural gas. It took one trade to not only pull me out of my drawdown for the day or my negative results for the day, but to put me up too. I went from -1 to +2, managing $25,000 is what you've seen me do every day in the TradeLAB. Results. Now, I'm not, again, the last 2 days there's been a lot of action. You don't need to trade all these markets. You don't. And by the way, there's also a couple Einstein trades in there. One loser, one winner, one loser that wash each other out. The reality is you don't have to take all these trades. Guys, if you guys know there's a natural gas trade, maybe take like one stock and just wait for the natural gas. Maybe just do the bonds like we did out of the gate this morning. We're going to do the top-down analysis in the lab this morning, and that's what I'm going to talk about. Don't think that you have to take every single trade that I do here. I'm just trying to showcase the logic and make sense out of these markets, what we should be or should not be trading. A majority of today has been independent and wildcard markets. Check it out one last time. Ugly. We like stage 1 and stage 2. Well, we had it 2 times today, stage 1. And I say we like stage 1 and stage 2 for the markets that you see listed in green and red. Green and red labeled markets like stage 1 and stage 2. If we're stage 3, stage 4, you should only be trading these. So why did I trade the S&P today and the Dow? Well, guys, we were slightly risk on for, looked like we're going back up. Looked like we're going to the moon. Failed. It wasn't the system strategy. It wasn't the technology. It's the market that failed. Take what the market gives you. If you're failing here, get your butt over and start looking at the grains, nat gas, gold, silver. There was an epic sell-off today in gold. That's my woulda, coulda, shoulda trade today. Should have had a sell stop resting in case we did have failure.
Okay, once again, this is Steve Schwartz with thetradingroom.com. The TradeLAB review for the day of December 5th. I'm with EP. We already have seen some of the descriptions that EP has shown. He pretty much went through an analysis on the natural gas trade that was just placed. And now we're going to just do a bit of a top-down analysis. So EP, let me just make sure that everybody recognizes that the purpose of these rooms, the TradeLAB, ED workshops, and IQ room, is strictly for educational and instructional purposes. It's a trading advisory service. It is not a trading advisory service of any kind. It shouldn't be construed as such. And past results are not necessarily indicative of future results. I'll be handing the screen off to EP. Sit back, listen, and give us a few minutes of the top-down that you wanted to share. Thanks.
All right, great. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, so another busy day today, 2 days back-to-back here in the TradeLAB. We've had a lot of activity, a lot of opportunities, I should say. As far as the activity, that's up to you and your comfort level. As far as the sentiment today, the market sentiment that we've identified in the room, for the most part, has been mixed to conflict. We've had the S&P going every which way, trying to find its way. Here's a representation of the stock market as in a whole. Now, we had some pretty big numbers that came out, unemployment claims that came out. We had an IVPMI number that came out at 10 o'clock. We had natural gas number that came out at 10:30. But here's the stock market. So, stock market taking some time to try to figure out which way to go. Of course, we start looking at 8 o'clock. We looked like we had a great little liftoff. Actually had a long trade in the S&P that I'll bring over here real quick. Here it is. That was actually a loss. That was one of my first trades in the stocks this morning. It looked like we had a great opportunity, lifting off, breaking through a couple of RQ channels, clearly in the bull territory, as we can see the bull level right here, breaking, showing us some precision as far as the momentum building up, the bars turning from neutral to positive, accelerators growing from 3s to 5s. Then they turned back to 3s, which meant, uh-oh, overbought. And you can see exactly what happened. 8:30 numbers coming in. The fundamentals took the bottom out of the market. Well, suffered a loss there. You can see I climbed back in positive as we speak right now. I've got a target on this S&P down at the first level of support at 1781.50. Did trade the Dow. So as the stock market was crashing, took a loss in the S&P, but climbed short in the Dow and started to make back for some of those losses. So that's a look at the stock market. Looking at the bonds, while I was long the S&P, this is the interesting thing of the day. As I was long the S&P, the bonds were actually crashing, and this is how it's supposed to work. I'm sorry. As the S&P is going up, we're looking for the notes and the bonds to come down. So the S&P was doing this. It was going up, but the strange thing enough, and we could sit back and analyze it all day long, the S&P broke down, took a loss there, but being short the bonds, according to the correlation analysis, saved me. In other words, I took that loss in the S&P, made some of it back in the Dow, but definitely did well in the bonds here. As you can see, I did a trade here and got my 25 and my 75% targets. So we talked about stocks, we talked about treasuries, let's talk about currencies. IV PMI number that came out at 10 o'clock today for the out of Canada. This is the dollar CAD. As the S&P is going down, which it was doing right here, the dollar CAD was going up. So it took advantage of an opportunity to buy the dollar CAD based on the correlation analysis, and thanks to the fundamental, got my target. Okay, it went up 75%. And the last one to speak of today, just give me 1 second.
Muted.
Would be natural gas. This was, no doubt about it, the trade of the day. This was a natural gas report at 10:30. Interesting enough, I actually did a 2-lot over here. Got stopped out of one of my 2 lots. Let me put an arrow on that. Got stopped out of one of my 2 lots. Held on to the last one. As we get closer to 10:30, which is going to be represented, obviously, you can tell where 10:30 is, right? The big spike. As we got closer, we started to break through the channels again in zone 1. So I added to my position to net me back to 2 positions. Bought 2, sold 1, bought 1, net long 2, sold 1 quickly at a 75% target, okay, and then let the last one run. Now it looks like I got out here, but that was a fast market. At the close of this candle, the arrow went in on NinjaTrader, but you can see that's where I got filled, 40.61. Being long, whether you want to add it up, being long from the first one or the second one, guys, that's 63 points from the second one, or if you want to go back here, 73 points from the first. Doesn't matter how you add it up. At the end of the day, the buys and sells, we're going to have the same regardless of how you add those up in terms of sequence. This was the trade that saved my day. This was the trade that put me up 2% for the day, which nets me coming into the day for the week. It was down about 0.5%, so we finished off this Thursday being up about 1.5% for the week based on the trades that you've seen here in the TradeLAB. And that is a wrap. See you guys tomorrow morning.